one topic that I wanted to also cover with you that we haven't gotten a chance yet was Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. That look right there already says it all. Already says it all.
We
What's your
haven't
thoughts
talked
on that?
about this on Throw Ahead for a reason. If that
We're gonna
wasn't a
throw hands
paid
over it.
fight, bro, that was paid for.
You think that fight was rigged?
That was sponsored. Yeah, that was sponsored. It had to, like, it had to be.
I did see a video on Facebook where it shows that shot that supposedly dropped Anderson Silva. It shows it from a different angle, and I guess Jake actually misses, but he still drops. Like misses by like that much. But it looks pretty clear in the video, so I'll have to send it to you when I get a chance.
Hey, strong winds blow cars off hills.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't
That's
know.
true.
Maybe it was just the strongest gust of wind off of a fist we've ever seen. I don't know.
It's
But
that gear, bro. It's that gear Jake has. He takes so much of it that he throws one strike and then whoosh.
oh, so we got like a Tyson Fury going on. Like, does he got stuff? He has enhancements in his gear or anything? I no, but seriously, no jokes. I really think that something's going on. Because listen, we watched. So do you think the Tyrone Woodley, both of them were real knockouts?
With Tyron Woodley, I'd say no, only because he's well aware that his legacy was already getting fucked with the fact that he was already on a 5-6 fight losing streak in the UFC, and like everything was downhill for him, and the only opportunity outside of a cash grab with the Jake Paul fight was to get some type of like redemption. And the fact that he was so determined to finally try to get a W makes me feel like Tyron Woodley necessarily wasn't paid for in that fight, especially because you really want to go down as the guy who got fucking knocked out cold by Jake Paul like that by the Disney kid in all that fashion.
Okay, and I totally respect that aspect of it. And I watched. So I was there. I covered that fight a lot, and I was there at the press conference that they had, little closed door press conference that they both
Oh,
had.
really?
Yeah, and what you just said rings home on the Woodley side. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
He expressed a lot of passion, but I'm gonna tell you something. What Paul also expressed was very true. No matter what happens here, I'm gonna pay you more than you got paid in your entire career on one night. And what you also said rings very true. Woodley was already out. He was already retired.
Mm-hmm.
He was done. That means no paycheck. So if I beat you, I can do two fights because Jake Paul, he's not a pro at this current moment, considered, right?
Right.
So, pros, you lose this early, you're pretty much done. You might have some little lingering fights here and there, but you're not selling no pay per view out, right?
Right.
So if he beats Jake, there's no two checks, and both of those checks were the biggest checks he. Those both of those checks individually were more money than he made in his entire career as an
Yeah.
MMA. So I am a little bit of a conspiracy theorist at times, and I just feel like he's been hit harder, a lot harder, with thinner gloves and feet
Yeah.
and elbows. I don't
That's
know,
true.
man. I don't know.
Wait, say again. It cut out.
I said I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, I don't that's the thing too, it's such a 50-50 because I really I really want to lean more towards that the fights aren't rigged, and, still, I'd say, like, it's like a 60-40 split where I feel like they're not rigged, but there's still that possibility because 'cause you've raised that same point, the fact that he got paid more in these boxing fights than his entire UFC career, and all kinds of people can get bought out by money. And I know Anderson Silva, well, actually, I really don't know if Anderson Silva would actually go that route or not because
But that's another
him as
guy that
well.
was but that's another guy that was doing this, Josh, in the beginning. Like, the
Yeah.
heart of his career was in the beginning when there was no money in this.
Yeah. And he's 47 years old. He really has no incentive to really still continue fighting. Like, truthfully, I don't, as far as I know, he already lives quite well. So I don't know why he's still fighting at 47 years old. And he's doing absolutely great. But I think I don't know. This is the hard part of this whole Jake Paul situation because if you think about it, if you stripped away Jake Paul, the celebrity, the Disney kid, all that stuff, and it was just on paper a pro boxer with 5 wins and like 3 or 4 of them via knockout, would we still have this same level of doubt and skepticism if it wasn't Jake Paul in a sense?
Yeah, because why are they even scheduling the fight? If you take that name out of there, that guy that has 5 wins and only 5 matches is not fighting Anderson Silva. He's not fighting Tyron Woodley. He's not fighting Ben, what's his name? He's not fighting Floyd Mayweather. He's not fighting none of these guys.
Well, if you consider over in boxing, their records are 0-0. I think Tyron Woodley, when he fought, yeah, he was right now. Tyron Woodley is 0-2 as a pro boxer against Jake, and then Anderson Silva, I think he's like 2-2 now. So, like on paper, the matchup makes sense in regards to like going off their records, but the experience level differences, I see what you get there.
Well, no, not even that. Not even the level of experience and all that. It's just the aspect of, Josh, you're 5-0. Why are you fighting Anderson Silva? Anderson Silva, you're 0-0. What the hell are you doing as a champion and all this fame? What the hell are you doing fighting this no guy? This nobody. He's 5-0. Who is he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't have even it wouldn't have been a big enough pull. They wouldn't even have made the fight. We wouldn't have even had saw the fight. It'd have been on like HBO Prime or I mean, it'd have been on some undercard of some other pay-per-view.
Instead of mainstream or main eventing its own.
Right. So there's just a lot of it that, listen, I respect everything about the Balls. Um, the way they came up, the way Jake did this is just amazing in itself.
Mhm.
I mean, remember he went from the Scottsdale mall robbery incident to 6 months later scheduling his darn near 6 months later scheduling his first fight.
Yeah.
Like literally, he went from the Scottsdale mall robbery riot during COVID, all that BS, to 6 to 7 months later scheduling a fight. I mean, I commend the dude. What
Mhm.
he's done has been amazing. I just don't know if the fight's real.
We need to see him fight a real boxer. Not saying a real boxer in a sense of a 47-year-old out of his prime, former UFC champion, or Tyron Woodley. Let's see an actual boxer who has a record of like anywhere from 5 to 10 wins, 0 to 3 losses. Someone who is the same size, the same age, and the same natural weight, because that's
Right.
another thing too. Like with Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, that was a drastic weight difference, and that plays a very big factor in the fight. With Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, Jake was still the bigger dude and had more of the reach. And then like Anderson Silva, I know he had a bit more reach than Jake, but way out of his prime. Way out
Look,
of his prime.
look, he would have been better off First of all, the Floyd Mayweather thing. I done seen Floyd hit people 3 to 4 times before they could put their hands up.
Right? He's fucking fast, dude.
Fastest hands I've seen besides, like, Manny Pacquiao or something, like so, bro, like, even watching that fight, I was like, "I don't know if this is even really Floyd. They got an imposter in here. Like, he ain't throwing hands like Floyd Mayweather throws hands." Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this little, exhibition fight that Floyd